In this video, we're going to explore the xargs command. Xargs is a powerful utility that builds command lines from standard input. It's like a bridge connecting commands that might not normally work together. Let's dive in and see how xargs can simplify your work in the command line. So, what exactly is xargs? Well, xargs is a command that builds and executes other commands by taking arguments from standard input. It essentially converts input received, often from another command, into arguments that a different command can use. This is particularly handy when you need to use the output of one command as input for another. Think of it as a way to chain commands together in a more flexible manner. Now let's look at some key features of xargs. It is useful for commands that don't natively accept standard input through pipes. It efficiently processes large amounts of input by running commands in manageable batches, and it gives you a good degree of control over how these arguments are passed to other commands. Now let's break down the basic syntax of the xargs command. The general structure is first command pipe xargs options and then the second command. The output from the first command is piped to xargs, which then uses that output as arguments for the second command. Here's a simple example. If we have echo file1.txt, file2.txt, pipe xargs remove, this will remove the files file1.txt and file2.txt. Now let's look at some commonly used options with xargs. The -n option, followed by a number, limits the number of arguments passed per command line. The -p option prompts you for confirmation before executing each command. The -i option, followed by a replace string, replaces occurrences of the replace string with the input line. And the -0 option specifies that input items are terminated by null characters, instead of white space. This is especially useful when dealing with file names that contain spaces or special characters. Let's walk through some basic examples to illustrate how xargs can be used in practical scenarios. First, let's explore how to use xargs for finding and removing files. To find all files with the extension .tmp in the /tmp directory and remove them, you can use find/tmp -name, open quote, *.tmp, close quote, pipe, xargs remove -f. Now if you need to handle file names with spaces safely, you can use find/tmp -name, open quote, *.tmp, close quote, -print 0, pipe xargs -0 remove -f. Next, let's look at batch processing. To process text files in batches of 3, you can use ls*.txt pipe xargs -n3 cat. Finally, to count the number of lines in multiple text files, you can use find.-name open quote *.txt close quote pipe xargs wc-l. In this section, we will learn about the -i option in xargs. The -i option allows you to define a placeholder that will be replaced by the input items. Here's the syntax. Command pipe xargs -i placeholder command to and placeholder. Here are a couple of examples. To copy all files with the extension .jpg to the /backup directory, you can use find.-name, open quote, *.jpg, close quote, pipe xargs -i open curly brace, close curly brace cp, open curly brace, close curly brace /backup, /. In another example, to process each file listed in the files.txt file, echoing a message and searching for the word error, you can use cat files.txt pipe xargs -i %sh-c open quote echo open quote processing %, close quote semicolon grep open quote error close quote %, close quote. Now let's explore how to limit the number of arguments passed to a command using xargs. We'll cover the -n and -l options. The -n option limits the number of arguments passed to each command execution. For example, if you have echo open quote abcde close quote pipe xargs -n2 echo, the output will be abcdne. This is particularly useful for processing items in small batches. The -l option, on the other hand, uses at most L non-blank input lines per command line. For instance, if you have cat file.txt pipe xargs -l1 echo open quote line colon close quote, it will prefix the word line colon to each line from file.txt. This option is helpful when processing input line by line. Handling special characters, particularly spaces, can be tricky with xargs. By default, xargs splits input based on white space, which can lead to issues when dealing with file names containing spaces. To address this, we can use the -0 option. This tells xargs to expect null-terminated input. The syntax looks like this. Find.-name open quote, *.txt close quote, -print 0 pipe xargs -0 remove. This safely handles file names with spaces or special characters. Combining this with finds-print 0 option ensures safe handling of all file names. For example, find/path-type f-name open quote, *space close quote, -print 0 pipe xargs -0 ls-l lists all files with spaces in their names. It's important to note that without the -0 option, commands may fail or behave unexpectedly when encountering special characters. Let's dive into some advanced examples of using xargs to harness its full potential. One powerful use case is parallel processing. To process multiple files simultaneously, you can use find.-name open quote, *.log close quote pipe xargs-p for -I open curly brace close curly brace gzip open curly brace close curly brace. This command compresses log files using 4 parallel processes, significantly speeding up the compression task. Another example is using xargs with shell commands. To download all the URLs listed in a file named urls.txt, you can use cat urls.txt pipe xargs-I open curly brace close curly brace wget open curly brace close curly brace. This command downloads each URL listed in the file. Let's wrap up with some best practices and key takeaways for using xargs effectively. First, it's always recommended to use the -0 option with finds-print 0 option when dealing with file names that might contain spaces. Also, use the -p option to prompt for confirmation when testing new commands to avoid unintended consequences. Consider using the -p option for parallel processing of large datasets to speed up tasks. And use the -I option when you need to use the input in multiple places within a command. In summary, xargs is useful for bridging commands that don't accept piped input, efficiently handles large inputs by processing them in batches, provides fine control over how arguments are handled, and combines well with other commands like find and grep. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.